Good evening, everybody, and welcome back. This is Theriton. This is the third episode of our Career Mode Shenanigans, which is a vanilla BattleTech career on all the default settings with Iron Mode enabled, so if I make a horrible mistake, I cannot recover from it. Now, last time, just to recap, we were looking at trying to eventually build up our company into an alliance with the Federated Suns. Right now, we are currently just trying to get out of the first couple of systems here, so we're still in the Turian Concordate for now. We'll move to Federated Sun space up top here as soon as we can get up to the appropriate level of drop weight. But for now, we've got a few extra mechs, or an extra mech, and we need to make some money before the end of the month. Joining me again tonight, I have Jagris in chat with me. I'm not sure how talkative she is tonight, but hopefully she'll help us provide a little bit of conversation and color commentary.
Hello. Actually, what I was going to say is you failed at my name again.
Did I? What did I just... Oh, man. How can I not say Jagtris correctly?
I have no idea.
First time every night, I swear, I get it wrong. It's just a thing now. I'm going to have to keep it
true.
going, just, because.
I see. Well, I suppose I prefer that than Jagtrees. Or Yagtris, which I also get.
Jagtris. Interesting.
Yeah, some people I watch that are from the Netherlands. J's kind of sound like wise almost. Hence Jägermeister.
Well, we could try to pronounce the J as an H instead. Go with the whole fajita type of pronunciation. So it would be what, Hagtris?
Oh god, that's terrible.
We could shorten it down to Haggy.
Yikes.
Of course, then, some people might think you're actually Hagrid or something, so that would just go badly. So just trying to find a decent mission right here. I'm not a terribly big fan of ones that require you to hit moving targets. However, I do love destroy base missions.
Naturally. Those ones are always the most fun.
I need some serious cash here, though, so I'll do that. Our new Panther is not going to be ready until after the monthly bills are due, so we're just going to have to go out with what we have and hope for the best.
Because, of course, we're going to target the furthest away thing. Don't mind me, I am playing Guild Wars because the new patch dropped, so I'm going through the next bit of the story since the internet was down and I was gone all day.
Fair enough. Well, hopefully we'll soon be in combat here with a couple of mechs, and we'll be able to show the people who are just slowly starting to join our stream just how BattleTech can be so much fun as a direct strategy tactics game.
Alright, keep your eyes open and watch your sensors.
So it's definitely got its... oh shit. You bastards.
Moving out.
Sorry.
Haggy language, we're on stream.
Oh, that is rarely a problem. I got kicked off a cliff and died on the bottom because it wouldn't let me glide.
That sounds like a horrible way to start your day.
Indeed.
Confirmed. On the move.
Trying to keep into the forest as much as I can here. I've got Panther on one flank with its long-range PPC, and the Jenner that I refitted with double large lasers on the other side. Meanwhile, my Vindicator and my shorter range Jenner will go up the middle. And there we are. Spread out just enough to make an interesting target and make sure that we've actually caught all potential enemies on the scopes. And it's a mech coming right up my left flank.
Receiving you.
Commander. I'm looking for somewhere with line of sight to one of the enemy targets, but I'm not finding it yet. Aha, okay, so if I burn up with this guy, I can get a line of sight. This is probably going to get him badly, but I need to have an identified target so that everything else can fire on it, even if it's outside visual range.
Got it.
Of course, if I destroy the target in one shot, that's just as good, because now they can't get a lock on me in turn.
Vehicle destroyed.
Jesus. Sure, let's just have the lasers be nice for you.
Ooh, interesting. I've got a mech coming right down my other flank as well.
Yes, Commander.
Gonna need to decide which one I'm going to engage, and I think it's going to be the right flank, simply because it's closer.
Yes, Commander.
Pull the Panther back towards the middle. Trying to make sure that his mech on the left can't get into visual range and get a firing solution on me. And that is pretty much exactly what I was hoping not to have happen. Now that he's gotten a firing solution with one vehicle, unless I can take it out before the end of my turn, I am going to be in a position where all of those turrets can use indirect fire on me. So here's hoping. And that's a nice lucky hit, taking out the one that had a line of sight on me again.
Warning. Enemy sensor lock detected.
Of course one of their turrets would have sensor lock, but at least that means it's only one turret. And the one they chose to lock was my heaviest single unit, so it can absorb some fire.
Yes, Commander.
Keep my light mechs moving here, as their defense is mobility, not armor. Let's see if I can get a line of sight on this guy. Oh, a spider. Of course it's a spider.
Firing all weapons.
Well, punch through the armor over his center torso at least. So if I can get a couple more hits in on him, I might be able to pop him this turn.
That would be good.
Copy that.
Let's see if the other Jenner with its barrage of SRMs can land a couple of hits on there or something.
Giving them everything I've got.
Of course, the nice part here is that the missile systems roll to hit for each missile in the pod separately. So a 55% chance to hit on a missile pack means a 55% chance for each individual missile from the pack to hit. So you're almost guaranteed that at least a couple of them will do some damage.
That's good to know.
Standing by. Heading out.
Really gambling on trying to take this guy down. I do not want their turrets to have a free line of sight to all my units.
Yeah, that's not helpful.
So I'm using a precision strike ability, which gives me a called shot on the target. So the numbers on the outside are the usual distribution of chance for where the shot will hit. And when I select, you can see that it shows me how much the chance that it'll hit where I want it to hit will rise. Head's not really worth anything, so... or not really giving me much of a bonus, so I'll try to peg him in the center of the torso. Not what I was hoping for. Did some damage with one of my missiles to the center torso, took out one of his medium lasers, but I'm really trying to get rid of that unit entirely. As it is, there's still the mech coming in from the other side that I'll need to deal with next turn.
Engaging target.
Still up, darn it. Thank goodness they seem to be going for my Vindicator again. It at least has a bit more armor than some of my other weapons.
Sure.
You'll notice of course, I'm trying to keep myself in the trees to get that 20% damage reduction for all of my units. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Commander.
I am going to try for a melee attack in his rear. There we go. Nothing like a good shoulder check to get something out of your way.
Nice.
Good to go.
And now we can send the Panther over to see what we have on the other side. It's another spider. Darn it. And this one has guarded, I think it is. So it's got 20% cover and guarded, which is an extra 20%. So it's going to be taking 40% less damage, but I don't care, it's still damage.
Yes, Commander. Moving out.
Looks like I can just barely get my shorter range Jenner into firing distance. Yeah, not terribly great chances to hit, but it is what it is. I wonder if I use precision strike on him. Yes, my chances to hit increase.
Good to go.
blew off an arm. Unfortunately, this mech's weapons are all on its center torso, so that doesn't really do a whole lot, but it's something. Nice part, of course, about BattleTech damage is that if you're missing a location, any damage that would have been applied to that location immediately transfers to the internal structure of the next location in towards the center without having to chew through its armor. So that's going to be a way for us to, you know, if we remove the arm, immediately get a free shot into the torso and that sort of thing.
Warning. Enemy sensor lock detected.
Wow, they're really loving my Vindicator here. Fortunately, the turrets aren't doing too much damage anyway, so...
Waiting for orders.
Let's see if I can just stand still and make him face a firing line. Huh. Oh! I hit his head, he has one structure left.
Oof.
Commander. Moving to position.
Jumping in close here with the Jenner, trying to put it in short range for the weapon so it has a little bit better of a chance to hit.
Firing all weapons.
I think that's his last weapon? No, he's got a damaged medium laser and an untacked one.
How's it going?
Thank goodness my remaining Jenner, who's on the other side of the base here, has long-range weapons.
Get him.
Scored a critical hit.
He literally has no armor left on the front of his mech.
Wow.
I think I'm going to try to jump on top of him, because I can't get a good line of sight without exposing the rear of my mech to the base. And that did it. Unfortunately, the death from above attacks, where you jump on top of another unit to do damage, also deal damage to your mech's legs. So my Vindicator now has a lack of armor on its legs, so I had to be a little bit careful.
No.
Standing by.
So it's time to send the light mechs in at a full sprint into cover to try to take out some turrets.
Taking the shot.
One turret down.
Turret destroyed. Orders. Good to go. Targeting for an alpha strike.
Two turrets down.
One less turret.
Now the turrets aren't showing up as a direct objective for the mission, but I've noticed most times with destroy base missions that they can be a hidden contract objective, so if you can destroy them all, then you end up getting about a 10% bonus to your contract payout.
Enemy structure damage, Commander.
So as far as I can tell, there's one more turret on the back of the base, and I will send a general around next turn to get a bead on that.
Engaging target. No damage detected.
Minor damage on the Jenner. Unfortunately, it's so light that a single one of those bursts was enough to go through its armor. So I've obviously got two turrets here. Oh, wow, I didn't even notice it right there in the middle of the base.
Waiting for
Mhm.
orders.
That was a bit of a... oops.
Locking in all weapon systems.
Well, let's see if I can fix that oversight.
That turret is gone.
Yes, Kronos, this one is actually really nice. So the career mode that I'm playing right now actually does involve kind of financial management choices of what you're going to upgrade, what you're going to negotiate for money versus battlefield salvage, and it really can be quite an interesting experience. There's a real variety in the weapon systems and terrain that you can encounter. So, it's something that'll definitely keep you guessing a little bit. A number of these missions will have things like reinforcements show up or other tactical challenges that aren't obvious at first glance, but they can definitely change how you need to do things.
All weapons, go.
There we go. I think that's the last of the turrets. Now, normally if you accomplish your mission objectives but there are still hostile forces on the field, you'll actually have to move yourself to your evacuation point. In this case, I'm just doing my very best to make sure that I take out anything hostile in the area, so as soon as I've taken these buildings down, I can just get picked up right where I am and I don't have to waste any more time.
No damage detected.
Commander. Roger. Taking the shot.
The storyline campaign for the game follows the same thread, but it adds a distinct line of story missions to it, including some semi-interactive conversational dialogues and the like, and special units that you wouldn't get in your standard game. I'm pretty happy with my decision to not go with a terrible heavy amount of salvage in this one. So there you go. Hidden objective, destroy best turrets, and got an extra 10% contract payout for that. So that should be enough that I no longer have to worry too much about the end of the month bills. I have to prioritize the quick repairs so that I have a functional lance again. Let's see if I can't get some more skill on my guys in the meantime.
Ready for orders.
Receiving you.
Training complete.
Yes, Commander.
Mech warrior training complete.
Waiting for orders.
Well, they're slowly shaping up here. Still trying to decide what most of my guys are going to have in the way of abilities. I really do like multi-target, which is the ability that comes from the first ability that comes from the gunnery path. But I'm also a big fan of bulwark, which increases the damage reduction in the guts path.
Mm-hmm.
But I do know I need at least a couple of pilots with sensor lock. That'll give me the ability to target and identify things that are outside of standard visual range, increasing my ability to engage them.
Mm-hmm.
But and then of course its secondary ability, which is Master Tactician, especially when we get to the heavy units, it's going to be really handy. Problem is, I don't want to have both of those abilities solely on my indirect fire mech, or it's going to be sensor locking things and then doesn't have the ability to fire on them. So I need high tactics on whoever is going to become my fire support pilot, but I'm also going to need high enough tactics to get sensor lock on one of my frontline pilots.
Mm-hmm.
I think what I'll probably do is build a brawler out of one of these pilots that uses the tactics abilities, both of them, as well as the first point in guts to get bulwark. With the idea that early in the game I can sacrifice his firing ability, or his time to fire weapons for sensor lock, since a brawler mech will probably only have short range things anyway. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Be a little bit of a ways off though. For now, I need to wait till the Vindicator is repaired. There we go.
Secure all loose gear about the mech bay.
I'm very tempted to take this escaping spy one, even though it is a full skull mission, so it'll be a little bit more difficult, but 12 days will be enough to get the new Panther online, and it's work for the faction that I want to eventually ally with.
Mm-hmm. Is there a particular reason why you go with that faction?
Just because.
Okay.
I figure in a later... They're one of the heavyweights in the BattleTech universe at this point in their timeline in the lore. So I figured first time through, default everything, sure, I'll go with the Federated Sons. I'll work for House Davian. In a future playthrough, maybe when I've cranked up or tweaked some of the difficulty settings, then I'll go for one of the other factions, do things that are a little bit more interesting, see if they do have a different flavor to their missions or a different roster of equipment that's available. Kind of explore piece by piece.
Fair enough.
Now, chances are the money would be better to take on this one, but I really want to see if I can get some salvage from medium mechs to upgrade the weight of my lance. And with a full skull mission, there's probably a pretty good chance that the assassinate mission target is going to be a medium mech.
Ready to go over financials whenever you are.
So yes, for those watching, the main ship I have here, the Argo, is there's a lot of upgrades I could be doing on it, but I don't really have the cash for that right now. There's all of these that could be done. You know, it'd be great to have something like the lounge or one of the upgraded refit areas, but it is half my money. So I'll just have to wait for a little bit on those.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jagtress, I know that you have played through a bunch of BattleTech in the past. What's your take on it? Is it worth really dropping the money into upgrading the Argo for the morale benefits and the like early on? Or is it more of a wait until you can really afford it easily?
I have a tendency of waiting on some of the upgrades because at the time that I got the Argo, I was still having a lot of problems with certain missions, so I would end up doing a crap ton of damage to my mechs and needing to, set aside a good chunk of money to repair all of my guys. So I put off what I needed to do for the Argo. I find that, sometimes it does help, but then I also tend to favor contracts that have travel time sort of added. So what ends up happening is, with the fact that I tend to need to repair my mechs and my guys in the med bay, I will usually take contracts that are further away that will, that will have travel provided. And that way I can sort of start worrying about if I should be doing upgrades at that point in time while I'm in transit,
Fair enough. So I think that off the bat, I'm going to turn my own character, Meat Shield here, who's the one that's the unit commander who can't die. I'll turn him into the fire support mech because he's already got multi-shot, which is handy for those fire support mechs later on. And I can take him up the tactics tree pretty quickly since his gunnery is already at a decent level. And the mech that just finished is my brand new LRM indirect fire support boat, so we're going to take that for a spin this time.
Ooh.
Okay, Kronos, thanks for coming in and joining us. Have yourself a good night, and it's great to hear that you have me on your auto host list. So, yeah, as soon as I'm hosting up, I'll make sure to send you a message as well, so maybe you can come join us again in person. Okay, so into our assassinate mission we go.
Oh, this is gonna be bad.
Okay, let's do this.
So the good news is the supporting enemy forces are right in between me and the intended target. So it should be fairly straightforward to try to wipe them out before we have to engage the actual target. There we go. Because if we can do that, then if the target is a medium mech like I suspect, we'll be able to concentrate fire once it enters the field. So those who've watched my screen before know that I'm a fan of reserving until I've got a mech of the enemy in line of sight so that I can open up on them with all units without losing anything. Yes, it's a bit of a risk because, as in this case, they get the first crack at me, but it's just one unit and now I can prime everybody in on them. Oh, and it looks like we have some other ones too, more than I expected.
Commander? Confirmed.
See what we can do from long range here.
I got
Not terribly great odds, but even a miss will still get rid of one of his evasion chevrons, which means that he's easier for the next person to hit.
Receiving you.
Fortunately, a lot of the stock light mechs are built around relatively short-range weaponry, so having a fairly long-range build, I can comfortably sit back and just try to pepper him down before he's really within the effective range of a lot of things. Like in this case, he just lost his missile rack. Lost his SRM-4 and his SRM-6 is not in great shape, and his center torso is not looking happy. Also, he's now lost all of his evasion chevrons, so it should be nice and easy to hit him with my best gunnery target, or pilot,
Engaging target.
with a swarm of LRMs to sandpaper through his internal structure and get crits. Like that, there goes his SRM-6.
Critical damage detected.
So while he's still up, he's only got a single medium laser as weaponry now, so he's really not that threatening. The more annoying part is that he's getting line of sight to my other units, so if he has any fire support, he can do that from a distance.
standing by. Let's see how you like this.
Okay, knocked him over, but I was really hoping for that extra little bit of damage to the center of his mech so it would be dead. Locust 1M. That is going to be their long-range missile version. Here comes the indirect fire.
Awaiting orders.
I can seriously melee the Locust from here? Sure, why not?
Interesting.
It is light enough that wherever I hit was going to take a location from him. So that's one LRM-5 gone. And given how fast he was moving, it's going to be pretty hard to hit him anyway. So now's the wonderful part where multi-target comes in handy, because I've got an LRM that can only reach that commando, which is down and flat on its back, but at the same time the medium laser could hit the Locust at a low chance, but may as well fire them both off.
Engaging multiple targets.
And that's the commando off the field. And a miss, but takes down another chevron off the Locust's evasion, making him easier for the Vindicator to hit when it comes to his phase. Okay, we have another commando. So the new commando on the scene has 2 chevrons of evasion and is hiding in the trees versus just 2 chevrons of evasion. So let's see if we can't get some hits on this Locust. Not very good chances, and I'd really rather go away. So I'm going to use my precision strike, which provides enough of a modifier that it actually improves my overall chance to hit right now. And we'll just aim for his center of mass. Thank goodness there isn't fire, because that looked like it would have taken out my generous leg if there was. But we
Yeah,
hit
that
one of
was-
his ammo storages, so bye-bye Locust.
Reporting.
Now that's interesting.
Something in your Guild Wars game or here on the stream?
Oh, in Guild Wars. Fascinating. How did he do that?
Alright. Straight through his left arm there with the channel.
Solid connection, that one.
Okay, so looks like that mystery mech that was behind the edge of the cliff there is another light, and it's not moving too fast, which is nice news.
Orders? Moving out.
Just advancing forward a little bit here with my Panther, so I'm no longer in long range with the SRMs. By moving to medium range, it drops the modifier down a little bit, and gives me a better chance to hit overall.
Now let's see how you handle this.
And now it's the commando's turn to move, and he flees. That's kind of aggravating. Just going to reserve here. Nothing in range.
Stabilizing. Engaging coolant system.
I'm just gonna hold tight and see if he comes back. Oh, looks like our other friend is gonna come play.
Awaiting orders.
But we can get a line of sight on him with the Jenner this time. By standing on top of where the Locust used to be. And he's a Panther. I like employing Panthers in my own forces. I don't like them on the enemy side because that PPC hits light mechs like a ton of bricks. Also, the PPC, of course, inflicts a sensor dampening effect that essentially applies a modifier to your hit rolls, making it harder to hit them. So I really don't like to have to deal with the implications of fighting a Panther. Ugh. Trying to hit this commando here, not getting great numbers, but
No.
you know, it is what it is. If I can take out the Panther, then so be it. Or take out the commando, then one less thing to deal with. See if I can take out a leg. Why, yes, I can, and that means he's going to be falling over.
Scored a critical hit.
Which makes him a much easier target.
Agreed.
%70 chance to hit the commando with LRMs versus 30% on the Panther. I'm just going to have to accept the chance that the Panther gets to fire off its PPC and see if I can't get rid of this commando. Oh, took out a side torso, and that actually meant enough wounds on his mech warrior that the mech's taken out of the game, but should leave a decent amount for salvage. My poor long-range Panther is getting hit here.
Standing by.
Now, I think I can climb up this hill a little bit and just barely get a line of sight to hit that fire at the Panther with the PPC.
Knocking on target.
Not a great chance, but... Oh, nice. Hit anyway. Now, who is he going to try to hit with that weapon? Ouch, straight into the Jenner, and it lost alarm.
Systems down.
Fortunately, the laser that was in that arm was the regular one, not the upgraded special one.
Reporting. Move order confirmed.
So, I'm just going to run the Jenner behind him and try to kick him.
What's up, boss? Location confirmed.
firepower I can bring to bear on this Panther. I've still got lots of ammo on my fire support boat, so may as well use it where I can.
Enemy mech. Critical damage detected.
Took out one of his jump jets, so that's probably going to mean that he's... Ooh, interesting. It looks like our assassination target has come into weapons range and is giving his escort unit some support.
On it. Target's taken a critical hit. Damn, that's
Target has just lost its PPC and turned around and kicked me.
Internal structure damage. Receiving you.
receiving you. Aye, aye.
Now that he's turned his back to all of my heavy hitters to try to engage the one that's kicking him in the butt, let's see if we can do some serious damage here.
That hit something.
Well, that's a leg and a weapon system down. That means he hits the ground. So that's 2 hits on his pilot's health so far, a side torso and a knockdown. Just for the giggles, I'm going to see if I can take out his other leg rather than the center of his mech. And no. Not much left of that mech.
Enemy mech destroyed.
Awaiting
Goodness.
Unfortunately, my poor little generator is looking a little worse for wear, so time to pull him back. Or, I think that's a him.
Yes, Commander. Hunkering down.
I'm going to see if I can pull that assassination target into us rather than having to go to him.
good to go.
Waiting for orders. Full speed, no target.
As long as he doesn't have the sensor lock ability, he's going to need to get in line of sight of us, and that's going to mean that we can then open up on him, so we shall see.
Taking a protected stance. Got it.
10-4.
Definitely looks like he's coming to us, which is a good thing.
That is good. It means you can set up well.
Moving to position.
On my way.
it also means I can make sure that the damaged units of mine are actually at the back, so he's most likely to get a visual line on and then engage the front units first.
Stabilizing. Engaging coolant system.
Can see where the objective marker is moving closer to us, so I expect that next turn I'm going to have an enemy contact and it'll move back to regular initiative. Time to reserve and see if he moves, and he does. Come on, there we go. Ooh, Centurion. And perfect, he went for the Vindicator just like I'd hoped. That's the one that can actually absorb the damage without taking more expensive hits.
Yeah.
Receiving you. 10-4.
Primary target damage, Commander.
Start by opening fire with the Jenner with its single large laser. Now moving on to the Panther and the like to see if I can get some PPC hits and muck up his sensors. There we go, sensors impaired.
Commander. Firing.
Engaging.
Finish off the round with a nice volley of long-range missiles. Sand off some armor in a few locations. Now, I could fire again right now that he has no evasion. But he's still in the trees, and I'm going to gamble that he's going to leave cover.
Roger that. Standing by.
He did. He left cover trying to close in on the units a little bit. But my Vindicator can take a little bit of the punishment he can deal out, and now he doesn't get a damage reduction himself.
Awaiting orders. Firing.
Yes, Commander.
He's also moved up enough that he's now starting to enter the short-range missile range, and just generally make my life easier to hit him.
Receiving you. Locked on target.
Oh, nice. Took out, set off his long-range missile ammo, which exposed a torso. And now I can move my fire support mech to his, just hitting his left side, as you can see from this little red marker there, which happens to be the side where he's lost an arm and a torso, meaning that anything that would have hit those is instead going to go smack into the center torso internals.
All weapons committed.
I would let this guy for salvage, but the way the damage is hit so far, I'm not sure if it'll work.
Receiving you.
Commander. On it.
Got a warning that he's going to try to leave the area, but he's not going to get a chance to do that.
One less target.
Yep, that's true. Because you're gonna kill him before he gets there. Oh, why can't I?
Placing that large laser could be annoying, but let's see here. Well, we'll take the piece of the Centurion that survived. If I take the Commando 1B, that'll complete another mech, even if it's only a 25 tonner. I'm actually going to take the large laser because I'll need that to repair the Jenner with. Oh, very nice. I got most of the other mech salvage just with the random rolls. The only thing it didn't give me was the Panther piece. Oh well.
This is nice.
Selling the reassembled Commando should probably more than make up for the money I gave up, and then there's all sorts of other salvage that we got too.
Alright,
Right.
continue to be
I'll get it in the stick.
Alright, so we've been at this for about an hour. We've done 2 missions so far. Now we could take another Federated Suns contract, but that's getting a little tough, you know. Especially for convoy escort. I have to admit that it's tempting payout. So if I take this one, I'm going to have to take my short-range Jenner because the long-range one's in repairs for 10 days. But the amount of money they're offering and the salvage is very tempting. In this case, I'm just going to have to go for high payment. Yeah, go for high payment, minimal salvage, though I'll still keep one piece of priority in case there's a good mech. But before I do that, I should really make sure that I level up my mech warriors.
Mech warrior training complete.
Yes, Commander.
Training complete.
Reporting.
Training confirmed, Commander.
How's it going?
Mech warrior training complete.
Receiving you.
Right, now back into that contract now that we've got the mech warriors trained up here. Let's see how this goes.
Mech warriors, prepare for combat.
I'm sure you will do fine.
Yeah, I'm not usually a big one on defend or escort contracts, that sort of thing, because there's always just the chance for cheese where a unit just ignores everything that's firing at it and just goes straight for the objective, and there's nothing you can do. But
True.
sometimes, it's worth a shot.
Command interface initiated.
Time to get dirty.
Okay, so I have to hold out for 10 rounds. Okay.
Got it.
I remember doing one like that.
Confirmed.
Good to go.
It actually wasn't too bad.
Got a sensor trace.
Okay, so we've got 2 contacts. So if the campaign missions taught me anything, it's that you need to have somebody firing at each enemy unit at least once to attract their attention, or they will go for the base.
Good to know.
That seems to be the engage. So, see how this goes.
Yes, Commander. On the move.
Now, let's get some eyes on targets, shall we? So we've got a Panther at the back, and a pair of Locust 1S's, which are the ones with SRMs, up at the front. May as well see if we can put some hurt on one. Yeah, not a whole lot, but a little bit. They don't have much armor anyway. They really do rely on speed to keep themselves alive.
True.
Yes, Commander.
Chance to hit this one is really poor, but at least it'll count as engaged.
Reporting negative damage.
Okay, I think you actually hit it.
No, I didn't.
Really?
No. He lost an evasion pip, but no damage. And now we see if he's actually going to engage me or the base. He's too close to the base for comfort, so let's see if I can sand off some armor and get his attention. A tiny bit, not much.
Yes, Commander.
Still not great chances to hit, but let's see. I'm actually kind of worried about that little locust.
Yeah, it's a sneaky little bastard.
Commander.
So moving my General up like this is a bit of a risk because it does potentially expose my back to the Panther if he gets around the hill. But I feel like I really need to get somebody in close to that locust and put some hurt on it before he moves again.
Giving them everything I've got.
Okay, at least I think I got his attention. Yep, definitely got his attention.
Yes, you did.
Waiting for orders.
So because he's moved so far, it's a 40% chance to hit him with weapons. Or I can try to smack him with an 85% chance of hit. And since the Panther is heavier than the Locust, it could do some nice damage. Oh, there goes his leg. That's going to slow him down. So their Panther is, comes over the top of the hill, but doesn't have a line of fire to the General yet, I think. So, I can get an 85% on the downed Locust with my LRMs, but the other one is in range for an attempted quick shot with laser.
No damage detected.
How's it going?
Really gambling here. I want to get that Locust off the board. There we go. Leaves the other Locust and the Panther not having been engaged this round, but it leaves me with this target for next turn.
Heads up, Commander. You've got hostile
Sure.
contacts inbound.
Wait, what's that? Oh, great, more of them?
Well, of course, they're not going to make it completely easy for you.
Right, it's a one skull mission. Why did I think it would just be 3 light mechs?
Good to go.
Orders.
Okay, let's see if I can't get him close and do some damage here. Okay, so they're back up to 4 active on phase 4, so that suggests they drop, oh, it looks like 1 on phase 3, so they probably drop 2 lights and a medium. Really need to get some of these guys up here off the board before their reinforcements get close.
Orders. Acknowledged.
Using precision strike, I've got a pretty good chance of hitting this locust. I took out a side torso. I was hoping for a leg to really put him down, but it is what it is. Let's see if I can't finish taking him down.
Enemy mech. Critical damage detected.
Lost both side torsos, and now knockdown takes out his pilot. So now I just have to take down this Panther. Oh, no, 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 no. Don't do that. Stop hitting my buildings. Betting that's a Locust 1M with its SRMs. Or LRMs, but we'll see.
Commander.
30% chance to hit that new spider, or 45, 50, 40 and 55 to hit the Panther. I can move up a little bit closer and get better odds, which is what I'll have to do here. Come on, do something. That was anticlimactic.
Oh,
Okay, so it looks like he has a Galleon light tank with him, and maybe another light tank as well. Oh, stop firing at my buildings. I want to save them all. I'm serious, we're going to have to charge mechs over there and spread my fire all around. Let's see if I can take out a Galleon light tank with some missiles. see if I can distract a spider with punching battle.
Scored a critical hit.
Well, put a foot right in the middle of his chest.
Commander?
I mean, they might be the way to take this guy down.
Inflicted some heavy damage.
I have a feeling that all buildings may not survive. Hey, wait, that's a completely different arc. How many different... Oh boy.
Hmm.
Friendly structure down, Commander.
Alright then. Well, so much for my ensure all buildings survive objective.
Oh no.
Of course, that means I'll be much less diligent about protecting the rest of them. I just need one to survive now.
True.
Lots of armor. Good to go.
Let's see if I can take out this Panther now. Oh, of course, the PPC misses. On like an 80% chance it misses. Okay, now I'm gonna have to actually pay attention to engaging them all. They're just doing too much damage.
Yes, Commander. Position confirmed. All weapons are go. Reporting critical hit.
It's nice to lay some damage on him, but it never seems to hit the location that I'm called shotting for.
It's not cool.
Engaging
Now let's see if the LRMs will do anything now that enough of his locations are gone so that all hits internal.
enemy mech. Critical damage detected.
Oh, that might be his pilot down. Took out the second side torso and knocked him down, and there he goes.
Awaiting orders. On my way.
Time to stop some tanks, which take extra damage from mechs.
Enemy vehicles destroyed.
to see if we can't take that launcher out, and we can before it gets a chance to go.
One for the scrap heap.
So now I have a Locust, a Panther, and something else, and something else. Or sorry, no, a Locust, a Spider, and 2 something elses.
Standing by.
It's always nice to have a mech that outweighs the other things that are on the field, because it can do some serious damage at melee.
Think I hit something good.
Very true.
Darn it, that's another structure down. Oh, and only now does the defend all structures one go away. Okay, so I guess you're allowed to take a couple of losses? I don't know.
Receiving you.
Good to know.
Well, let's go see if we can shoulder check a Spider.
Attempting physical attack.
See if our fire support can take out that Locust. And it can.
Enemy mech destroyed.
Now the Spider is probably going to medium laser my Jenner in the back. No, he passes it up and goes for the long shot on the Panther. Interesting.
Standing by. Yes, I'm there.
Let's see if I can attract a Jenner's attention. I'd say that should attract his attention. Blew off his arm.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'm guessing that's another Panther up there, because that looks a lot like a PPC.
Reporting. Tenfold. I'm taking internal damage.
It's getting a little bit messy. I'm going to have a lot of repairs after this one.
Receiving you.
Okay, time for the fire support mech to see if we can take out the Spider now. Yeah, not We sanded him down some more.
Good to go. I copy.
Let's see if the Panther can finish him off.
I copy.
Took out his right arm, which really doesn't help me any.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Very much so.
Oh, I'm going to need a medic.
Let's do this.
Good.
Slightly lower chance of hit, but if I can take this spider out, then... Oh, come on, you can do it. Okay, it took out his other side torso, which injures the pilot, but didn't knock him down, so still gonna have to deal with him.
That shot went internal.
Awaiting orders. Good to go.
Firing at the Jenner here simply because he hasn't gone yet this turn order, so anything I can do to him would help. There's the Panther that I suspected.
Ready for orders. On my way.
This is probably going to expose my Panther to fire from the Jenner, but there goes the spider.
Mech destroyed.
Oof.
Internal structure damage.
My poor Panther. He has armor remaining on his two arms and his head, and that's it.
Ouch.
Waiting for orders. Coordinates received.
Let's see if it can't take down this Jenner this turn. Not great chances to hit, but if any of them hit, they'll probably do internal damage. I'll take that.
Well, yeah, of course.
It's his side torso gone, so that's 2 injuries to his pilot. does he fire? Oh, thank goodness his Panther did not fire. So it looks like this flashing icon here means that Meat Shield, who's piloting my fire support boat, could get a rear shot on that Panther, which means that his damage reduction does not apply.
Targeting rear armor.
So there's a chance I can do some serious damage here.
Reporting.
Charge forward with the Jenner, see if I can take out his Jenner, and then it's just Panther on Panther. Again, lower chances to hit, but anything I can do there.
Reporting critical hit.
His Jenner now has no weapons, which is an interesting predicament, because that means he's going to try to charge me.
On it.
Can't have him charging me. There we go. No more Jenner.
Target eliminated. Yes, boss.
Use my cold shot ability just because, well, frankly, I need the extra chance to hit, and if I can core out some torsos, so be it. Oh, yes, that's what I'm going for.
Destroy.
Nice. Well done.
Mission
Lucky. If that Panther, instead of backing away, had pushed forward, he probably could have taken out either my Panther or my Jenner. So, I got lucky.
Yep, but still good.
Yeah, take a look at that Panther there. has
Ouch.
Partial armor on both arms, and partial structure everywhere else. On the other hand, everybody got a kill.
That's good.
Wow, that's a lot of salvage. Too bad I only took one salvage on this mission. Oh well, when it comes to things, I'll get Panther salvage, sure, why not? So, that's our 3 missions for the night, I believe. I'm just going to do a little bit of maintenance here on our mechs and see just how much this is going to cost us.
Mm-hmm.
Too bad. 84,000 for that.
I'll get it in the schedule.
So about 100,000 in repairs, but we made almost 600,000 on the mission, so we're starting to get ahead. We have 4 months worth of expenses saved up.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, we also only have 2 mechs active until a couple of these are done.
Right.
But we can get the Panther and the Jenner active again before the next monthly report comes due.
That will be handy.
Now, we have almost enough that we could buy a blackjack outright. That's what, 1.2, 1.4 million, I guess, required to get the 3 mech components. So potentially, after the first mission next session, we might be able to do that. So I'm just going to fast forward a little bit of time here while we repair mechs, and then I will end off the stream. So thank you all for joining me tonight. Once again, this is Thurston on our career mode Shenanigans. This is the end of our 3rd episode. So I expect the next episode we're probably going to see if we can afford to buy a medium mech and really start to bump up our drop weight a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you all for watching. I'll bring this to a close now. Have a good night.
Good night.